Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Today is another beautiful warm day in February. It is raining and it's supposed to rain for like most of the morning, but I don't care because it's like 65 degrees or something. I'm gonna stay dry and I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to run into another big fish. So last night when I was out here, or yesterday, I caught two fish. I caught one in the first 5 minutes of the day and then one in the last 5 minutes of the day, but the bigger of the two ended up being 7.3. I'm really hoping that these fish are starting to push up a little bit and getting just to be a little bit more active, especially with this rain. It's pretty warm. The water temp, 52 degrees. That's up 2 degrees from yesterday or last night when I got off the water. That may push the fish up just a little bit shallower. I might fish a couple different creeks today, mess around, bounce around in there, and just do a little bit of what I did yesterday. Throw a jerk bait, throw a glide bait. I'm gonna throw a bunch of different baits with the main goal of just looking for the biggest fish that we can catch. Throwing this GoPro on, let's go fishing. Yep, it's gonna be a wet one. Covered the boat last night. On the drive here, it got soaked. I do want to point something out real quick though that's pretty sweet. If you take a look at these hatches, you can see that Matt built this lip in here and that leads to a drain. Kind of hard to see, but that drain has a tube that goes down into the bottom of the boat, so all the water just goes back into the bilge, but it keeps everything in here dry. I mean, obviously it's open right now, so it's getting a little wet, but for how much rain we've gotten, these cardboard boxes would be soaked. Shout out to Matt Downs from Trick Tins. If you guys are looking for hatches or graph bridges or pretty much anything you could think of, he sells it and it's top quality. Matt's also been posting quite a few YouTube videos. If you guys want to check those out, he's been posting a lot more of his builds and they're pretty freaking sweet. So I'll leave a link for Matt's channel down in the description below. Make sure you go check him out. He's the man that built this badass John boat. But it's time to fish. So yesterday I caught that fish on the paperweight. This guy, love this bait. I've caught so many fish on it. You can see it's got some hook rash, looking a little beat up. I actually like that a lot more than a bait that's perfectly clean. But anyway, I'm throwing a River City Glide, so this is obviously a little bit bigger. I want to say this is a 10-inch glide. My buddy Matt makes these and he is a Richmond local. This is a really sick bait. I love the way this thing swims. The first glide that I got from him was actually a smaller 5-inch glide, and personally, I guess I don't have a ton of experience throwing small glides, but one thing that I am not a big fan of is I find that the majority of them have a hard time finding like a really good left and right glide without getting stuck. Sometimes when you're retrieving it, it'll go like left, or it just won't glide the way you want it to. It just doesn't have enough surface area to truly make a good glide. But Matt's smaller glide, the 5-inch, that does exactly what you want it to do. And I feel the same way about the 10. Like the paperweight and this bait, and granted I don't have a ton of experience with a whole bunch of glide baits. I can definitely say I feel really confident fishing these two because I know what they're doing in the water. But I'm gonna throw this around a little bit and see if we can get one to chomp it. All right, so I think the rain is done for the day. Taking the jacket off, and we're still after it pretty hard. I haven't had a bite yet, and I've been jumping around fishing a bunch of different spots, fishing deep, fishing shallow, fishing trees, fishing points. Pulled out like 3 more rods, throwing a chatterbait, lipless crankbait, a jig, nothing yet. I just popped into the mouth of a creek, and I'm not exactly sure if it was a bass or not, but something was definitely up on the bank moving around. I don't know if it was eating something. There was definitely some action up shallow, so I'm gonna keep bouncing and hopefully run into something. Here's something kind of interesting. I came back down lake a little bit, popped into one of these creeks, and the water temp in here is 57 degrees. That is like significantly warmer than anywhere else that I've seen. The water back here is really clean too. It's shallow. I mean, we're in like a foot of water right here, but with the water temp being so high, I don't know, there might be a possibility of there being fish back here. Got him. Is that a pickerel? Oh, it was a bass. Okay, first bite of the day. Thought that was a pickerel, so I kind of just said meh. First bite of the day though, 12-17. And that fish ate a chatterbait, one of the clear billed, like silent chatterbaits. First time ever throwing one. Seems pretty decent so far, especially when you find yourself in clear water. You want something just a little bit more quiet. I've got a small 3.3 inch saucy swimmer on the back. Got a little bit of extra fish lip here. Cool. All right, that's a good sign. I think we figured a little bit of something out. We'll see. I really didn't even believe I was getting bit at first. That fish was only in like 2 feet of water. There's no deeper water than 3 feet back here. Oh my God. Oh. Let's go. On the River City Glide, you guys. That was ridiculous. Oh my God. That is a small fish for this bait, but that just goes to show what they'll eat. Oh my God, that got me so off guard. I was literally just messing around with the live scope. All right, Glidebait fish going back. See you, bud. Let me explain real quick what was going on there. I switched the live scope over to perspective mode just so I could mess around with it in this super shallow water. I wanted to see if I could see anything swimming around, and I was looking to see if the orientation of it was right. So I was throwing the biggest bait that I had on, which is this Glide. And I just wanted to get it out there so I could see where it showed up on the screen so I could make sure that I had it straight. And I was like slowly just moving the bait, really not even fishing it, not paying much attention at all, really just looking at the screen and trying to figure out where my bait was. And that fish ate it. That was so ridiculous. That fish was probably 2.5 pounds. Oh baby, this looks exactly like that last fish that I missed on this chatterbait. I wonder if these fish that are real dark like this live back here year round. Any of the other fish that I've been catching out here look a little lighter. Those are suntanned bass. Oh, oh my God. It's gotta be my line. My line's gotta be bad. That's 2 in a row I just snapped off. That is not good. I hate that. I just saw that jump. I think that was actually a bowfin, which would make sense why it broke. If it wasn't a bowfin, it was a pretty big bass. All right, I'm gonna fish a different rod with a Texas rigged crack and crawl. Same color as I was throwing on the back of that jig. I think this will get bit just as well. All right, let's see. There's another bite there. I just missed like 4 fish in that pass. That's pretty bad. Got him. Ah, I love these dark fish. Little guy. But I'll take it. Man, I'm like 1 for 5 on Texas rig and jig bites. That's pretty bad. I think that these fish have just like pushed up into these warm creeks, sitting up against any sort of wood. I haven't been bit out of the grass yet. It seems like everything has been off of some sort of cypress tree or dock. So I'm gonna keep doing that. See if we can get a couple more. Oh, dang. Just had one following it and I like sped it up and started making it a little bit more erratic, and he hit it. He's coming again. There we go. I don't know if this was the fish that was following the glide. I just switched up to the chatterbait to run it over this area. Solid fish. 3.5, pushing 4 pounds. Awesome. It's been a solid day. I didn't even really feel a bite. I just kind of pulled up to the bait and it was just dead stopped. I couldn't tell if it was stuck, and I could slowly see the line run to the left. That was sick. Well, 6:01. I was not planning on staying out all day. I kind of gave up on that flipping pattern. Oh wow, that was something big right there. I started fishing some offshore brush piles in hopes that I would be able to run into something big on the glide bait, but no luck. Probably fish for another 5 minutes and head in. Last cast. All right, so yesterday turned out to be a pretty decent day of fishing. As far as like the weather goes, it was beautiful. Had a little bit of rain in the morning, and unfortunately I couldn't get any fish to eat during that period of rain. But I think that I was just spending too much time on the main lake and not checking any of the creeks. It seemed like once I got into the creeks, there were definitely fish biting, and the water temperature was 5 to 7 degrees warmer. So even though it's still early in the season, don't forget to check those creeks for that warm water. Had a bunch of fun out there, caught a few, and we learned a little bit as well. So that's always a positive thing. But I am on my way to go fishing right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it as well. See you on the next one.